everyone, welcome back to the workshop. Artisan Pirate here, and in today's fun video I'm going to talk to you about scroll saw patterns, more specifically where I go and get all of the scroll saw patterns that I use. Now they are readily available on websites, through mail order catalogs, and of course the magazines you can pick up at the bookstore or newsstand. I want to talk a little bit about all those in this video. Now for my YouTube videos that I put out on Monday, the scroll saw ones, I will primarily use Steve Good's scroll saw patterns from his website, scrollsawworkshop.blogspot.com. I met Steve Good in person at the 2019 woodworking extravaganza that was put on by Klingspor Woodworking Shop. He is an amazing and humble dude to talk to and is happy to educate people on the scroll saw, and he is readily accessible through his email that's listed on his website. When we were talking, he gave me his blessing to continue using his patterns for educational purposes on the scroll saw, and I hope that's what I've done for a lot of people and just educated them and showed them the versatility of a scroll saw as opposed to just like a table saw, a router, or a lathe. The scroll saw is a very relaxing tool to use, and he just gave me his blessing, and I thank him for that, and we correspond through email frequently, and I really appreciate the friendship I have with him. But I'll primarily use his patterns so I can link them back to you, my followers and subscribers. So maybe after the video you want to go and try the pattern. I'll try to pull some of his older patterns out of his catalog and use them, and people will be like, well, hey, I just got into scrolling, I missed this one, let me go back and find it. But I've also strayed and used other patterns from other websites for YouTube videos. I've cut out a couple projects from the Scroll Saw Village website. ScrollSawVillage.com is a free website you can go to. You just have to register for it like a social media account like Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, but it is free to register, and it will give you access to thousands of amazing quality scroll saw patterns, as well as a community forum with a wealth of knowledge. And I've used a couple of their patterns for videos as well, always crediting the artist down in the description box below. I always try to post the artist when I post to social media, because that's one of the comments that you get. The top comments when you share your work around is where the pattern come from, and I try to do that unless it was an older piece when I very first started scrolling and I just wasn't aware of designers at that point. You know, just forgive me for what I didn't know back then and what I'm trying to show off now. One thing you can do is design your own patterns. Now, I'm not good with digital stuff. I'm good on social media and sharing my work and, you know, getting my name out there. I'm just not good with digital programs like Photoshop or anything. I cut out this pattern here and I designed it myself, and what I essentially done was printed out the Jaws poster at this size in black and white, put a backlight behind it, and put a piece of tracing paper on it, and just traced out what I thought would look good to cut out on a scroll saw, and that's how I've made this one. And this is the only pattern I've ever done. I wanted to do a whole thing of classic cult movies like this here, like Godzilla and all, but this is the only one I've done to date. There are mail order catalogs as well, and I've done patterns from those, not as YouTube videos, but just throughout the years I've seen patterns. I thought, well, hey, that looks cool, you know, and I want to order it, like Winfield Collection, Scroller Online, and of course several others that are out there. There is also the magazines you can pick up at the newsstands. I have a ton of patterns from Scroll Saw Woodworking and Crafts magazines and Creative Woodworks and Crafts magazine. This magazine unfortunately is no longer available, but I have a huge storage of their patterns here. If you guys would like to see me pull out these and go through them and maybe do a few videos with these patterns here, just let me know down in the comments. A place that you might not think about getting patterns from is pumpkin carving stencils. I know there is a lot of websites that sell pumpkin carving stencils, and you can find several by Googling them. Just check for copyright issues. I cut out these two to go in my personal collection, not to sell, but I cut out Mario and Sonic here, and these were just pumpkin carving stencils for Halloween. They were bigger patterns. I just shrunk them down to the size I want, and I cut out Sonic and Mario here to put beside my Sega Genesis and Super Nintendo. I'm a huge retro gamer and love the older games, especially the Nintendo and the Sega. But just think about it. Pumpkin carving stencils are just like a scroll saw pattern, and this here proves it, because you have to have the tabs and everything in it to keep it in the material, and you wouldn't want anything falling out. But that is a hidden gem I think that a lot of people aren't aware of. I have cut out several things like this welcome sign and this Native American. This was back before I'd done YouTube. I cut this one out in 2004, and then I took a break from scroll sawing and I cut this out in 2013. This was one of the first pieces I'd done when I got back into scroll sawing, just to see if it relaxed me and I still enjoyed it like I used to back when I cut this piece out. But I've done thousands and thousands of projects. Patterns are everywhere. You just have to take your time and find them. But if you're just getting into scroll sawing, I would suggest using a site like Steve Goods or Scroll Saw Village just to see if you're going to really enjoy doing the hobby. I find it very therapeutic, and I do my best thinking when I'm on the scroll saw. So maybe try some free patterns right off the go, and then proceed to like the catalogs, the mail order catalogs, the online order forms. Just try around and shop around. I hope you've got a lot out of this video. It's a video that I had been toying with on making, and I finally decided to do it as a Wednesday video. If you're new here, please subscribe to the channel, and also follow me over on Instagram at Artisan Pirate. Links to all my social media as well as ways to contact me will always be linked down in the description box below. That's about all for this one. Let me know down in the comments where you get your scroll saw patterns at, and how you go about thinking about ideas for your scroll saw patterns if you're a pattern designer. That's about all for this one, and remember guys, if I can make it or do it, so can you. I'm the Artisan Pirate. Take care, and I'll see you guys real soon.